Hi there, welcome to Pennsyltucky. There's my first hound. There's my second hound. And these are not hounds of hell. These are hounds that will help you get out of hell. This is my happy space here. This is my little slot canyon where I come to not think, but I come to listen. I come to listen to the voice of God because there's a lot more you can learn from that rather than just trying to think your way out of this world. Hi there. So today I'm going to talk about awe yet again and how you're such a divine creature, even though you're told otherwise by science, media, and everything else. And I'm going to read off my script as much as possible because I got a lot to cover. And I want to make sure that I can get it all covered in the time we got here. I only got about 23 minutes on my phone, apparently. Okay, so the first thing is the world of symbols. I'm into that a whole lot, and hopefully you can hang with me. And then also identity politics. So let's talk about how amazing we are first off, and how we're told to think just the opposite, that we're little. The first thing is dark energy. It makes up 73% of the universe. The second is dark matter. It makes up 23%. What does dark mean? Dark means science, the ego, says, oh shit, I don't know what that means, so we're just going to call it dark. Okay, that's a fancy way of saying, I don't know. We can't admit to God. Okay? Oh, heaven forbid that we have to admit that, because then you might realize that you're a little bit more powerful than what you actually are. Okay? Told you are, that is. Okay? So that's 90%, 96% for my mathematicians out there. 90% of the universe is dark, unknown. Okay, that leaves 4% we can see, and within that 4%, which is all the planets, which is me and you, it's the rest of the universe, there's only 3% that we can actually see with our eyes in the electromagnetic spectrum. I mean, that is very tiny, people, very tiny. So how much are we really seeing? All I'm saying is there's a lot of awe out there, okay? We're not just small little creatures. Moving along, science, the Big Bang Theory. This is a classic, okay? Terence McKenna says it. He goes, you give me one miracle, and I'm your dad, I'm science, I'll take it from there. I'll explain to the rest of you, little boy, little girl, okay? Just give us one miracle. We're not going to call it God, but we'll just call it the Big Bang, and we'll take it from there, okay? This is the original fall from grace, folks. Sin, in my opinion, is realizing that or believing that you're separate from God. Okay? This is where it begins. This is why the whole universe is an illusion. Okay? It's this proving grounds, if you will, where we don't learn anything. We just have to remember back to being with God. Okay? That's why all of it's an illusion. This whole thing's an illusion. It's time and space were created. Time, space, A and B. So God gets to know himself other than just this all-encompassing just blob of energy that can't even understand anything if there's not an A, a B, a here and there, me and you. Okay? It's dualism. It's falsehood. So I heard this recently, and this just goes into how small we are, or how much we're afraid of death. I've heard the term they use at old folks' homes, retirement communities, is the person expired. Okay, think about that. That means you're afraid of death. We're going to call it expire. They're not even a human. Expire? Seriously? We're grander than that. Government cheese expires. People don't. Okay? People are energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. So, we transition is how I see it. We don't expire. Give me a break. So we transition. It goes on and on, over and over. All the world is but a play. The story never changes. Only the names do, people. All right, so let's talk about my t-shirt here. If you look at my t-shirt here, it's backwards actually. It says 9-9 if you look. See the IX. It's actually XI. And I'm just going to talk about the symbol of that. That's 1111, XI. So 1111, if you think about it, in my opinion, could be the devil's horns times 2. 2 devil horns makes 1 angel, okay? Another way of looking at it is, if we extrapolate that out, that 11 becomes 22, becomes 44, becomes 88. 88 is the infinity symbol. So if you have 2 infinity symbols, it gets back to the singularity, it gets back to the God wink, it gets back to who we are, it gets back to source, okay? That's another way of looking at it. Again, I always talk about pi, I talk about phi, and what the ego mind says, what the scientist tells us, it's irrational. Maybe we're not rational. Did you ever consider that? They call that number irrational. Why? Because they can't trace it back to source. Pi, if you look at 3.14, blah, 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 it goes on and on and on, and you can find your date of birth in there, you can find your address in there, you can find whatever sequence you want if you were to look long enough. That is incredible, okay? Man can't even fathom that, so we just call it irrational. It's ridiculous, okay? Everyone's pussyfooting around the idea of God, okay? Think about it. Think about what we can see. Think about the majesty of it all. Okay, continuing on with this XI theme. When you look at X and I, or I'm sorry, if you look at the mirror image, it would be IX, which would be 9. So that's 99. I say that 99% of the world is in phase materia. If you look at my shirt here, and I'm going to try to get it in, see the band, you got to trust me, it's backwards. It says phase materia. It's a good band. Phase materia is how 99% of us go through the world. It's up to us 1% that see spirit. The 1% are the light workers of the world that can turn this thing around, okay? If you question if you're a light worker, if you're a seed source, you know, you're probably on your way, you probably are one if you're thinking that. If you're confused, that's okay, that's where you're at, okay? So we can turn this around. We can create heaven on earth, the new earth, you know? That's why I'm here at this creek. I'm not some exalted leader. I'm down here at the creek, I'm humble. The meek shall inherit the earth, okay? Do you get it? If you get your mind straight, your head straight, we can create heaven on earth. That's the new earth, okay? The meek shall inherit the earth, not this ego stuff. That's what they're talking about, okay? Continuing on with this number theme. 66, if you invert the 99 in a mirror, that's 66. 6 and 6 get you 12. 1 and 2 out of that 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, and everything comes in 3s. That's the Holy Trinity, okay? It's mind, body, spirit, id, ego, superego. It's the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's the past, present, and future. Okay, what's in a name? We're in The Sims, people. You can't make this shit up. Look at this stuff, Trump. Think about it. Trump is trying to trump everything. Trump is that big old ego just trying to change everything. Trump, are you kidding me? Next guy, Biden. He's biding his time until he transitions, for God's sakes. Look at the man. God bless him. I'm not trying to be a smartass. He's biding his time. The next one is Jane Goodall. Are you kidding me? The one that worked with gorillas? Jane Goodall. Let's be good to all, not just humans. Other sentinel beings. Her name was Goodall. How about BlackRock? I talked about that the other day. The guy that made that computer that's doing all this stuff, that analyzes everything, it's called Aladdin. And his name is Fink, like a Finkster. You can't make this stuff up. There is power in these names. It's not just made up. We're in the Matrix, people. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room before I run out of time. Left and right, left and right. Blah, blah, blah. So, the left, they're virtuous, and I don't mean this in a smart-ass way. Like, truly virtuous. They feel righteous. And it's when they wear a mask, okay? It's a symbol of respect. Virtuous because I follow the rules, and I do what's best for the whole. Okay, they're part of the inner circle. They're part of the in crowd. Okay, it's almost like the atom, the electron that's on the inner circuit there. Okay, it's the lazy atom. It's the one on the center. Okay. When you look at the right, some of their virtues are: I believe in freedom. I believe in the responsibility that comes with that. I know what's best for me. It's that high energy electron on the outside, okay? The one that doesn't necessarily always go with the flow. The one that doesn't go up the stream necessarily, but again, just like a riptide, sometimes you go sideways to get out, okay? You don't just go with the flow. Okay, so it's also the land of meritocracy. You work for what you get in life. It's not just socialism, okay? Moving along. I've got about 10 more minutes here. So, and I'm just going to read off here. So what I'm afraid of is that people are going to place their arms out. I think everyone's getting tired out there, just getting exhausted. They were just going to stick their arms out. They're going to say, place this tracking device in me, take my blood, sequence my blood, genetic test my blood. Sequence? Really? Genetic sequence testing? This is nuts. For what? The flu that we get every year? I foresee the future. We're going to have the flu in the fall. Yeah, no shit. We've been having the flu for millennia, people. Okay? So, what I'm asking you is don't look for some man with a little man's disease that's got a little mustache to lead you out of the way like they did in the 1930s. Stop being a follower. A lot of people were followers back in the 30s. The good Germans were followers. They were watching the buses go by. Not the buses, the train. Trains full of Jews, and they were just good followers. Is that what we want in this world? I don't think so. Okay? You can just insert the name Bill Gates in there. Bill Gates, give me a vaccine. I'm your daddy. I'm going to make sure that you don't think for yourself. Again, we have to think for ourselves. We have to stop being followers. Okay? Enough with it all. Who, like Bill Gates, what moral authority does he have? I've been seeing nothing but hypocrisy this whole world, this whole year. What people have I've seen that have the moral authority to lead me other than me? This is how I see it. Use your heart. Okay, so this is also what I see that they're up to. Let me back up. If you're being triggered by any of this stuff, again, why do you let me take your power? That's ridiculousness. If you need a safe space, again, what are you saying? Little me, I'm giving away my power. Stop giving your away to power. Nobody wants to give their away to power. That's exactly what you're doing, okay? Stop melting under pressure. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough of being said you're being small. It's crazy, okay? We must think for ourselves. Okay, so like George Carlin said, the comedy guy, political correctness. This is what they're up to. This is the tiptoe. Political correctness is totalitarianism dressed up as politeness. Okay? I'm being polite. That's why I don't talk bad about people. That's why I don't use my First Amendment rights. I'm afraid to say anything. I'm afraid to speak my truth. I don't want my light to shine. Okay? This is what they're up to. And it's also called the totalitarian tiptoe. This is what David Icke talks about. Okay? So what they want to do is abolish the First Amendment. That gets rid of your freedom of speech. Let's do groupthink. Let's not think for ourselves. Don't talk outside the box, okay? The Second Amendment is the break glass in case of an emergency amendment that supports the First Amendment. That's why it's there. And guess what? They want to create a civil war where we act the fool, we start shooting everybody up, and then they would take your Second Amendment rights away. Take your Second Amendment rights. How in the hell are you going to enforce your First Amendment rights? To think for yourself, to speak your truth. So wake up to what's going on, people. All right. So now, hopefully you'll have the courage, you'll have the wisdom to take off your physical mask. Better yet, you'll have the courage to take off these masks that we all wear. This mask of, I'm a small person, I need somebody, I'm small, I can't handle this. Okay? We need to put our big boy panties on. Okay? And we got to move forward from this kind of thinking. And once you're able to do that, you can take off these physical masks that broadcast your virtue, that say, I'm a follower, I get in line, and I went to Penn State. We are Penn State. No, you're not. You're an individual thinker. Forget this group mindset. We got to get away from that. Have to get away from that. I'm not getting on the train. I'm not getting on that train. Okay. So think for yourself is what I'm saying. I'll leave you with this. Salt and sugar, they both look alike. But guess what, people? In order to have freedom, it takes responsibility. It's up to you to try the sugar or the salt and decide which one's right for you. Okay? You have to take the responsibility for that freedom. The responsibility to taste that salt, to taste that sugar, and figure out which one works for you. Again, I leave you with, let's please work on the space between the ears. Put away your mind is what I'm saying when I say that. Let your heart rule the day. And peace and all that will follow. And remember, I am in the middle. I'm not left, right, this, that, and the other. I'm on the side of humanity. But we got to reach down deep, grab a hold of your hoo-hoo, and my God, we have to discover our hoo-hoos, grow a pair, and move forward in all this. Enough with all this. Can I get an amen from anybody? Does anybody have any passion out there? I know you do. I know it's out there. And my God, speak your word. Speak your truth on either side. God bless it all, okay? We need it all. We need the unbalanced. That's nothing wrong with that. But just keep on speaking our truth, make up our decisions, and think for ourselves. All right, you do you, I'll do me. I mean, it's just poetic. I love it. All right, God bless y'all. Take care. Peace.